When NFL players fight their own teammates, big shout out to Red Zone for the video I'm about to react to. Hold on, bro. They be squabbling, squabble. Let's get this joint.
Crazy training fights?
Oh, damn.
Losing in the middle of the game. And fighting over barbers? These are the craziest fights between NFL players and their own teammates. And first up, we got Dez Bryant getting folded by his own teammate in practice.
Oh,
but the tackle was clean. It's how Dez handled it that made it go viral.
J.J. Wilcox on Bryant. They go at
shoot.
It out.
Yo, they scrapping.
That was the curliest fight I've ever seen between two grown-ass.
Nah, bro, that was not a girl. Listen, bro, I ain't gonna lie. A lot of times you see football fights, they just be like pushing each other. They really punching, bro. Yo, hey, it must have been some smoke before this that we don't know about, bro.
Dudes. But Dez ain't the only future Hall of Famer who forgot he was at practice. Because when Jack Cochran made a late hit on Travis Kelce, he crashed down.
Oh my gosh, Travis Kelce fighting?
He's probably just got pent-up rage from living with Taylor Swift. But in 1997, things got even more heated at the Buffalo Bills training camp. And it was already hot as hell out on the field. So when Steve Hoyam got wrapped up with Mark Maddox, things went off the rails.
Not too happy with the way things went. Watch Maddox. He'll take the helmet.
Oh, no. He threw the helmet.
Guys getting a little frisky. I think they're ready to play some football.
Bro. Dude was using his helmet like a goddamn mace. But at least they got into it at camp. In 2021, the Commanders had a fight happen during a game because the Cowboys were absolutely smoking them. So tensions were high even on the...
Wait, he stepped out of bounds. Hold on.
It happened during a game because the Cowboys were absolutely smoking.
Oh, never mind. I thought he stepped out of bounds. Look at Eli. I'm just saying that because I'm a Giants fan and I hate the Cowgirls.
So tensions were high even on the sideline. And that's exactly where Jonathan Allen lost his cool. Because when he was trying to lock into the game, Deron Payne did something unforgivable.
What?
Not gonna lie.
Don't touch
Getting pissed over a poke is crazy. And if you're gonna get that mad, at least land your punch.
Yeah,
that shit was embarrassing. But not nearly as embarrassing as a veteran player getting pressed by a rookie. See, the Jaguars drafted Fowler for the defensive end position because he was supposed to be one of the best pass rushers in the league. And while that was true, he couldn't stay healthy and had continuous issues off field. So when they brought Yannick in the start, Fowler was pressed. And one day at the end of training camp, they finally went at each other.
Where they at?
And even after being separated, they kept trying to keep it going.
Oh, nah. They're not even throwing punches, though. They just pushing.
Yeah, finding the new guy is definitely the way to win your job back. But at the Chiefs training camp in 2025, it wasn't some washed players getting fired up. It was two rookies that got a little caught up in the heat of the moment. And sure, if you're a rookie, you want to make a good impression. But typically, you shouldn't be doing it with your fist.
During camp today, first-round draft pick Josh
Simmons,
and third-round pick edge rusher Ashton Gillotte go head-to-head. It happened for just a few moments before cooler heads prevailed.
This shit looks like two kids fighting, man. But when Laquan Treadwell got tilted, everyone was sprinting to stop it. See, Laquan Treadwell was a first-round pick, but he had an absolute pathetic start with the Vikings.
Hill under pressure, middle of the field. In field goal territory.
That was a good catch.
That was the only catch he made the whole season. So in 2017, the pressure
What if they just didn't throw him the ball? How's that? He caught the ball. Like what?
to actually perform was sky high. So he wasn't exactly in the mood to take shit from anyone. And that's where Anton Exum Jr. comes in. A hard-hitting safety fighting for his own roster spot. And on one of the drills, both their tempers flared just a bit.
A scuffle between the two. No injuries, thankfully. This kind of thing tends to happen, though.
Like
I love the reporter saying, thankfully there's no injuries. Because obviously, there aren't injuries. Those dudes look like they've never thrown a punch in their lives. But one Bills player was ready to throw hands. Josh Allen? Yeah, skinny white boy was scrappier than we thought. And it
First off, he's not skinny. He's like freaking 250 pounds, 6'6". But wait, Josh Allen scrapping? Hold on.
happened on the first day in full pads. Josh Allen was running the offense in a red zone drill. But as he goes in, 6'6", 340-pound defensive tackle Jordan Phillips gives him a love tap on the back. And that was more than enough for Josh to snap.
Yeah, you got to protect the quarterback. You got to protect the quarterback. Oh, that boy jumped up top. Look at the jump. Look at the jump. Look at the left. Look at the left. Look at the left. Look at the left. Yo, look, this is something I learned, bro. Playing pro football these last 2 years, gang. Like, there's been fights and practices. The heck growling at, bro? Why my dog growling? You good? What are you barking at, bro? Yo, calm down. But listen, bro, there's been some fights in practices, bro, and I ain't gonna lie. Anytime the quarterback got involved, everybody would jump in, bro. Like, it don't matter if the quarterback right or wrong. You always gotta protect the quarterback, bro. So that was funny to see that. Like, look at this dude's feet in the air. He literally jumped up in the sky to protect Josh Allen. That's crazy.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Get him out of there. Whoa.
Respect to Josh for even trying to ego check Jordan, but it was an awesome sight for any football fan to see. Deadass real-life David versus Goliath situation. But that's not the only time players got hot early into training camp. For Dez Bryant and Tyler Patman's scuffle, it was only day 2, but it was coming from a mile away. Dez had just signed a 5-year contract for $70 million, while the undrafted cornerback Tyler Patman was just there to impress. But Dez was not going to let him get his roster spot without a fight. Without multiple fights, actually.
Oh, damn!
After that swat from Dez, it was on. And by the time the next drill came around, it was less about actually making a play and more about standing on business.
The two got tangled up on the field. The altercation continued on the
Dez Bryant and quarterback Tyler Patman got into it, and on the final play of team drills for the first team offense and defense at Cowboys practice, helmets came off. Got a little heated.
That went from 0 to 100 in like 2 seconds. They made it clear there was no bad blood.
It happens sometimes, so we go at it. After that, we squash them, and it's over. Cornerbacks and receivers, there's always history in between that, so, you know, it's bound to happen, and, you know, it's part of being a family.
Talking a whole bunch of stuff to him, and he was talking back to me, and just escalated over to the next play, and, you know, that's what happened. You know, at the end of the day, he wasn't going to back down, I wasn't going to back down, and at the end of the day, you see us, we shook hands, we hugged, and we respect one another.
Damn, really got more self-respect.
That's how you do it. Look at them hugging each other now. That's how you do it, bro. Look, man, hey, sometimes things happen. Brothers fight. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we all on the same team with the same goal. Lose to the Giants and the Eagles twice in this year and never make a Super Bowl since the 1990s. Dallas Cowboys.
Respect and dignity than their own fans. But even though the Bills were the reason this next fight happened, they weren't involved. All they were doing was beating the Seahawks into submission. Midway through the third quarter, they were down 14-3. And to make matters worse, linebacker Derek Hall made an unbelievably smooth brain move. Not only was it a late hit, but it was a late hit on the 3rd and 15 after Josh Allen's pass was knocked away. So the Seahawks could have stopped the drive there. But thanks to Hall, the Bills ended up on a touchdown drive. And defensive tackle Jaron Reed was not happy with Hall.
He and Reed going at it.
Nah.
A lot of competitiveness down there, and these guys are fighting hard to win. And you don't love to see with teammates, but look, that happens.
To be fair, since 2015, the Hawks haven't exactly been known for their elite decision-making. At least this one only blew a drive and not a Lombardi. But if you really want to see a team self-destruct, you gotta head down to Miami. Because during a practice in 2012, Cameron Wake didn't just have a fiery moment with one person. He tried to take on the whole team.
Oh, damn. Why they jumping him? Nah, I don't like that. Why y'all jumping him, bro? Nah, that's weird, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
That's probably the only time that a 6'3" dude got hit with short guy syndrome. But if
but why are they jumping him? Like, what, bro? Corny, bro. Hey, throw the one.
you want to see what happens when you let a giant loose, we gotta go back to 2002. See, it was training camp for the Tennessee Titans, and Haynesworth was the rookie defensive tackle trying to show up and show out. On the other side of things was Benji Olsen and Zach Pillar, equally terrifying veteran linemen that aren't exactly welcome to the team type guys.
That's probably because I threw him to the ground 2 plays in a row, and he didn't like that.
But Benji definitely didn't expect all this for just a throwdown.
Bro, it's crazy that they just be punching helmets, bro. How your hand don't break?
And after that beatdown, you'd probably expect Haynesworth to back off. Nope. So Zach Pillar had to teach him a lesson on the next play.
Oh! The boy's scrapping with it. Oh, shit! Oh, that boy crying.
That takedown had Haynesworth seeing stars, gasping for breath, and hopefully learning that Zach Pillar isn't the type to go down without a fight. And neither is Richard Sherman, which Phil Bates found out during training camp. See, the Seahawks were fresh off their Super Bowl win, so they were walking around like they owned the league, especially the loudmouth, cocky defense, their Legion of Boom. But the Legion of Boom didn't just trash talk other teams. They dissed it out to their own offense. So at a mandatory minicamp in 2014, wide receiver Phil Bates decided it was time to dish it back.
Woo! Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman. Oh, damn. Oh, my. Oh, shit. Yo. You know what's crazy about Richard Sherman? I was at a Vikings and Rams game because I was doing something with EA Sports, giving Justin Jefferson a 99 overall, 99 club chain, right? It was me and Ocho Cinco and Justin Jefferson. We're in the backstage of the stadium. Tell me why Richard Sherman comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, what's up, Justin?" I was like, "What the fuck?" And then Tony Gonzalez, legendary tight end, he retired. He came up and he's like, "Oh no, this is not Justin Jefferson, bro. This is Eli, bro. He's with EA Sports." And he's like, "Oh, my bad." I was like, crazy, bro. I guess he thought I was JJ, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. This JJ thing getting out of hand. A lot of people don't really say I look like him no more. You know what I'm saying? He changed his hairstyle up, and I still do this. Sometimes I do back, so I don't really think we look alike anymore, bro. So, but yo, back in the day, dog, like a year or 2 years ago, that joint was like everywhere I went, bro. It was crazy.
Choosing to go at it with Richard Sherman is a wild move. Even Bam Bam Cam's watching in the background like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Luckily, it was all just fun and games for them, and 5 minutes later, they were homies again like nothing even happened. But Sherman is known for being loud and aggressive. The most shocking team fights happen when the calmest player ever loses his cool. Peyton Manning. It was a Monday Night Football game, and the Colts were struggling against the Rams. Peyton was wound up unbelievably tight after missing 3 straight passes in a row. And while he was fuming, Colts center Jeff Saturday had the not-so-bright idea of telling Peyton how to do his job. Hey! The best part is, Jeff ain't wrong. Running the ball was actually a good idea, so Peyton couldn't say shit except, yeah, we'll run the ball. Respect to Peyton for keeping his temper on lockdown 90% of the time. Because that one crash out is so out of pocket, it probably scared the whole team. But that kind of rage is sometimes what the team needs. And in 2018, if any team needed some fire, it was the Browns. Because in 2017, they achieved an almost impossible record of 0-16.
Damn.
So when they got a hold of Jarvis Landry from Miami, he came in ready to teach the Browns how to actually play football. Well, he at least got them competitive again, because he started not 1 or 2, but 3 separate team fights.
Damn, bro. Isn't that Odell Beckham's best friend?
I said, oh, he getting up swinging.
Both of those were more like heated scuffles. But during a passing drill, Terrence Mitchell was covering Landry. He couldn't cover him to save his own life. So Landry got legit mad at Terrence for being an awful defender and just crashed out.
Wow. Bro, some of these dudes be fighting for the stupidest reasons, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Nothing says forward progress like whipping the ball at your teammate. But maybe that's the fire they needed. And it was definitely the most action that team's had since 2016.
Like he on demon time. Look at this
ball
dude,
at your
bro.
Teammate. But maybe that's
Look
the fire they needed.
Yo, he like, yeah, who wants smoke? He like, I perform.
And it was definitely the most action that team's had since 2016. But one time,
I perform lay down. My bad, bro.
Michael Westbrook delivered a little too much action to Stephen Davis. Because at the Redskins training camp in 1997, Westbrook has Stephen pinned to the ground, and he's hitting him harder than Nate Diaz.
Damn! That's a UFC move.
I apologize. I said the apologies. We had a disagreement on something that I said or possibly he said, but you know, I don't know why he hit me or anything.
Nah, you have to at least kind of know why bro was wailing on you like John Wick. But no one was innocent in this next fight. Because in 2014, Martellus Bennett made it clear that he wasn't at training camp just for cardio. And it didn't take long for Kyle Fuller to get the message. See, Kyle had been making plays all day long. And as a rookie corner, that is exactly what the coach wants to see. But some of those plays might have gone to his head. Because in one 7-on-7 drill, he went full speed against veteran tight end Martellus Bennett. And the way he went about it was not only unsportsmanlike, but it also sent Bennett into a blinding range.
Yo, bro. Nah, that's the craziest slam. Look at this.
Range.
Look at this. He turned him, used all his body force, and put him on his head, bro, on top of the crown of his head. Look. Boom. Oh, my God. Bruh.
Finally, someone actually knows how to fight. I will say, neither player did the right thing. However, it's nowhere near as scary as how Cam Newton handled his fight with Josh Norman. Because in 2015, Cam Newton wasn't just getting attacked by the defense. He was the one attacking them. And it all went down at the Panthers training camp in August. The practice was dead. Coach Ron Rivera had already pulled a defensive tackle for slacking, and everyone was pretty much ready to go home for the day. But when Josh Norman intercepted the pass from Cam in a red zone drill, he decided to run it back with some extra swagger. Apparently, that was the caffeine that Cam needed to be shocked back to life. And since he was wearing a non-contact jersey, Cam brought the fight to Josh.
One thing led to another, and yeah, we got the tussling.
Why are you mad because you threw a pick six, bro? Bro, what?
I could tell that, like,
Choking someone out while smiling is absolutely devious behavior.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cam is like so unserious sometimes. There's no way you were actually mad. I think he was just trolling. Cause like, bro, what? You threw a pick, bro. Like, why are you mad that you threw a pick?
Josh Norman's about to see Cam Newton.
Yo, he's literally smiling. Nah, this is crazy. Yo, Cam is different, bro. This guy's hilarious.
As a sleep paralysis demon for years. One team fight caused legit PTSD for the victim. Michael Irving did something to Everett McIver you'd never believe. It was 1998, and the Cowboys were in training camp in Texas. This was peak chaos era for the Cowboys. The glory days of the early 90s were fading, but the team still had all the big names, which meant big egos, which also meant the locker room could turn a small disagreement into a Game of Thrones scene. And that's exactly what happened. On one side, there was Michael Irving, three-time Super Bowl champ, the face of the Cowboys, and the unofficial locker room boss. And sure, he was known for being able to catch passes with one hand tied behind his back, but more importantly, he never backed down from a confrontation. On the other side was Everett McIver, 6'5", 300-pound offensive guard that fought his way into a starting position. He wasn't well known, but he was respected by the team, and unluckily for him, he was the only person who didn't give a f about Irving's strong-arm personality. And during one afternoon practice, Everett would learn that Michael Irving is not someone to ignore, because when the team took a break, they brought a barber into the locker room to give haircuts to the team. Everett sits down in the chair ready for a fresh cut, but since Michael had seniority, that meant he just cut Michael in line, which was a big no-no. Michael told Everett to move. Everett said no, and what followed was a heated exchange that became a shouting match that then became a little physical. But it went a whole other level when Michael, with the team watching, grabbed a pair of scissors and stabbed Everett in the neck. The blade cut a 2-inch gash, barely missing Everett's artery, and the room went wild. The team separates the two. Michael's barely phased, while Everett's holding the wound, and trainers are sprinting in like they're in Saving Private Ryan. The Cowboys PR team tries to damage control it, calling it horseplay to the press, like two grown men casually horsing around with scissors straight to the dome. But the craziest part? Nothing happened, like at all. McIver got stitched up and went back to practice the next week. Irving? No suspension, no fine, no apology. Just business as usual. Bro literally stabbed his boy, not over a contract, playoff game, or a bad block. Over a f***ing haircut.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy. That is nuts, brother. That point, gang, you tried to end my life. Alright? At that point, alright, you know what? Bible, I think it's in Corinthians. You know, it says you should not plot harm against your neighbor. So I ain't even gonna speak on what I'm thinking in my brain. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I just would've went to practice the next week, bro. You tried to kill me, bro, at that point. But hey, man, everything happened for a reason, man. Shout out to them. Shout out to Cowboys. Shout out Michael Irvin. Shout out Tunsil. Shout out all them boys, man. Hey, listen, bro, I love y'all boys so much. Thank you so much for the love and support. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you always put God first. Remember that you are chosen, so move like it. I'll see you on the next one. It's your boy Eli Mack. Gang, gang.